All right. Hello and welcome back to another Wargaming Paint and Chat live stream. It's mostly chat today. I hope you guys are all doing well. This is our third stream of the month, and it's going to be the last Wednesday of the month of 2021 altogether, in fact. So we're getting ready to start a new year, and I have got a heap of plans that hopefully I can get through a little faster than I did for 2021. And I'm sure you all do as well. So let me just start off by introducing this miniature. It's not my work. This was sent to me. It was a Christmas present from Paul because he's, I don't know, awesome. So he sent me this assassin that he worked super hard on, and so I wanted to make sure that we could get as much close-up of the details that he had put into it as possible, and so I think this works. So this is the eye candy you guys get for the next while. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Hello, hello, Adeptus Ridiculous, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Dave Dog won't be able to join us for this one, but that's okay. I appreciate any time any of y'all tune in. It's always great to have you guys. Yes, happy late Christmas if that's your jam. War Budgies, welcome to the chat. Hello. Rovok, bonsoir. Hello and welcome. Mr. Pilek, welcome. Bills, appreciate you being here. Paul, as always. Let's see, holy smokes, it's almost time out already? Happy New Year's. Oh, I know. The year, I don't know if you guys felt it. For me, the year slipped by like sand through the hourglass. The days of my life slipped by for all of 2021, and it was a little stressful, so plenty of people in here. Yeah, so what's good, painting people? Hello, Todd. What are you guys all working on today? As you might have noticed, my dear friend Flo is out. I think she's probably unconscious at this moment. She was not feeling well, so she has decided to stay home. Typical Wargamer girl, keep us waiting. You know, gotta keep everybody guessing. It's never because of constant technical problems. Never that reason. We got here, I think 3 hours early, a little less than 3 hours early, and still like barely, because basically all of Windows wanted me to reinstall everything fresh. That's what happens when you try on your computer all the time, I guess. Yes, so Adeptus puts stuff on my Facebook. Now, Paul, I know you don't use Facebook, and at this point I really don't blame you. I don't know what the hell's going on with that program, but it has become beyond aggravating to work in. But yes, so Adeptus posts a bunch of photos of stuff he's working on my Facebook, so feel free to definitely check that out. He's got some really impressive work. Bills, I need to post some stuff to her Facebook page. Yes, please. While we wait, I'd like to lead us in a rousing chorus of hymn number 544. Oh, Menoth, burn those guys. Ha ha. Oh, I need to actually listen to your interview from Warfare Weekend, War Budgies. I saw that had gone up. Let's see. Cronenberg. Oh dear, where did I go? There we go. Hey Jeremy, good to see you, man. Fancy turntable action. I know that model. So that's Paul's model. I finally caught up to the chat. So not my work, but beautiful work for sure. He actually kind of just guards my sewing room, but at least I know where to get him in case I can incorporate him into one of my lists. I don't know if I can, but you know. See, belated Merry Christmas, early Happy New Year. Yeah, we're right in the middle, so you know, it's all good. Happy Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Boxing Day, whatever, and then Happy New Year, Happy Chinese New Year. I don't know what else in the world has a New Year's different from ours. So yeah, happy thing. You know, let's just hope for a good year. Let's try to not let the world crush us. Let's see, McGarthus, how are you? How are you? Doing all right. Those assassin models are nuts. Yeah, he also painted a, I think, Calidus assassin for me as well. quite a while ago. So I have her with her cool, sleek, awesome ponytail. Just, the assassins are always super cool models. Hello, Shale. Let's see, Paul, that works. It's painted like a Night Lord theme. Right, so there's the colors. But even the base is really nicely done. Plunderden, good evening, everyone. Wishing everybody a happy, safe New Year's. Thank you. I hope Flo feels better soon. Me too. It's been a hard week. So Christmas kind of fell. If you work an office job, and obviously it doesn't compare to when you work retail, because I've done that too, and it's similarly exhausting though. Like typically you work an office job, there's like extra time off for Christmas. Yeah, neither her nor I got any of that really. Like there was a half a day for both of us. And then, you had Saturday, Sunday, and then boom, right back to work Monday. Like everybody was just allopated and confused and tired. And I think for her, she had to just do so much work right out the gate after Christmas that it probably burned her out a bit. Todd, working on some Riot Quest, been doing comic style painting. Oh yeah, with the little edge highlighting. That's super cool. How's the new place coming along? It's coming. We had a bit of a drama around a DeWalt table saw that cost us over a month of productivity because, you buy DeWalt because you're like, this is the brand. This is the brand that we're going to buy because we don't want to have to deal with unreliability or something breaking again really fast. So we get this 10-inch portable table saw. Great reviews. Perfect. And after about a dozen uses, it would not turn on anymore. And I learned so much more than I ever wanted to know about a magnetic switch, including the fact that if you get the magnetic switch that has the brake built in, which has 6 prongs, it's complete and utter trash, garbage, don't ever use it. Wire it to a light switch, you're better off, because all it did was fail, and we replace it, and it would fail, and we replace it again, and it would fail, and we're like, how the heck did this company get away with making these? Does nobody use the DeWalt table saw when they buy one? Because these things fail 100% of the time. So we kind of worked around it. But it took lots of phone calls to DeWalt and honestly, we had to fix it ourselves. We couldn't even do anything about it. There's no place here that services them. So a little frustrating, a little aggravating. We have wild walls and sets to build, which is the whole purpose of us buying it. And it not working cost us so much time in the studio. It was little bit of chewing glass moment for me. It's very frustrating. So anyway, it seems to be working now, so just move on, right? Alfonso. Let's see, this year was not a good year for me. I only painted 3 miniatures. Plan on changing that in the next year. So do you set a specific goal for how many you want to paint, or are you just like more than last year? Shell, gonna paint a fire moth, and a kit fox for Battletech, light mechs, but with the right configuration. They bring the pain. Still never played Battletech. There's a huge, respectable meta, I guess, here in Albuquerque for Battletech, but I don't ever end up playing it. Bill is working on 3 projects: more ancient 10mm Hittite army female gambler from Shadows of Brimstone, and a second Tauntaun rider from the Star Wars Legion. Sweet. War Budgies, yeah, that was super cool in that interview. We didn't get into hordes yet, just like the War Machine factions, or just the War Machine factions, but it was a good talk. I'm curious. They're the better factions. I read some news. I'm sure if you guys follow War Machine, you'll see it too, but I'll give you guys a little highlights of what I learned today. Let's see. Medlier, just finished assembling a Kraken. Gonna throw it in as a boss fight in my D&D campaign. How fun. Jake Dog, welcome. Hope you had a lovely Christmas. I did. It was really nice. It was hard to relax. We had to do a lot of travel, but it was really pleasant because it's always good to see family. You never know how long you have family for, so always appreciate them while you can. Joe Riley, your sound seems soft to me. So we've upgraded, which has been like the telltale story of misery for me lately, to a new sound box so that, one, it's not connected through the cam link which is what's connecting the camera that you're seeing me through, and that was connecting and getting sound, and it was just getting off sync and all these other problems. So we had a dedicated sound device for that, and I think we're still figuring it out because it's not very friendly to us. So just bear with us, that will improve with time. Let's see. Table saw just for show, not for use. You never know, Paul. Sometimes people just want to have their shop first look. It's not the most unrealistic thing I've heard. Robotic Dragon. DeWalt has bombed in quality over the past 10 years. I don't think there's any reliable brand anymore. Everybody makes cheap junk. Dude, I feel that way about software and just about everything else. Like, cards don't impress me. Software has been specifically aggravating of late because it feels like it deliberately. Like, I had to change phones, and the Facebook app doesn't have an area where you can log out anymore. At least, not any way that I could find. So I'm like, uninstall, I guess? Like, what are you supposed to do? There's no reason for these things, and yet this is what we deal with. So yeah, like tools, oh man, I'm just so lucky to get a hold of any old tool I can find anymore. Bill, I could send you my old Craftsman portable saw. Works, may need a new blade. Well, that's pretty easy. Honestly, I think we got it fixed for now, but it's stupid because the only reason it didn't work was for a so-called safety feature, although one of the most unsafe things a tool can be is unreliable, in my view. So, whatever. Buy domestic, Miranda. I want to. Justicar, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you all next year. Bye, Happy New Year, Justicar. I do hope to see you all in the new year. Budgies. Oh, and Henge Hold Scroll is back with a vengeance. Yes, I was actually reading that today, so I figured we can share the updates because an update just came out today on it too. Hey, Thomas. Here for my break at work. Oh, well, thanks for joining us. Hope you had a happy winter holiday, whatever one it was. So, or all of them. I don't know. Like the guy from The Mummy. Honestly, we left so much out of the loop with BattleTech that I forgot to know how to paint them. Alfonso, I don't set a goal, but I was working on a massive samurai army, and I think that working on such a large army project got me burned out. I don't think I'll be working that anymore. Fair enough. Good morning, belated Merry Christmas. Hey, Naphiel. Happy New Year. Thank you for the greetings from Germany. Nice assassin. Yes, so Paul, the moderator in the chat, painted that. Paul, my first hobby plan for next year is to take the best parts of previous and current Kill Team and make a version for us to play at our local indie store. Ooh. So you have to do it at an independent store, huh? Because if you go into a GW store and you play with their models, but you modify their rules, do they kick you out? Is it an unsanctioned game? Like for my game stores here, I'm pretty sure we could just go and play Calvin Ball with Warhammer miniatures and no one's going to care. But I don't know that the GW store would put up with that.
Is that like the gamer version of unlicensed boxing?
It's the game, yes, the gamer version of unlicensed boxing is just making up your own rules. We've house ruled it. Which is funny because in the world of RPGs, people have done that forever. The Plunder Den had a very successful 2021, completed over 24 terrain pieces, 50 miniatures, 12 ships, and started a YouTube channel. I'm so excited for the future. Oh, Plunder, that's awesome, man. Good job. Let's see, MacArthur's, my New Year's resolution is to visit your establishment later next year. Gotta run. Let's see, got to run, always good to see you, stay COVID free. Bye, MacArthur, thanks for popping by. Let's see, Budgies. Honestly, Henge Hold is keeping me on edge. If I'm making for your, let me see. It's keeping me on the edge of if I'm making Fiora's followers in my army or some kind of zealots of the martyred flame. Oh, goodness. Alfonso, I'm only going to work on skirmish games from now on. 30 models, not 600 plus. Hey, you accomplished the thing. Hey, Patty. How you doing? Hello, painting from Curse City. Bjorn is painting orcs. Oh, yeah, you had mentioned that. Jeremy showed me some of the work you had done. I didn't know you were a classical artist too. Like, you have a really good illustration.
How old is Bjorn?
How old is Bjorn now? He's got to be 4? Oh gosh, I don't know. They start so tiny, but now they're bigger. He's bigger, I'm sure. See, Paul, I think GW would let us house rule a couple of things, but the regulars there only want to play the current. Friends will want the house rule. Skirmish games are the best. They're pretty good. Let's see, Thomas, I plan to paint stuff for Requiem. I painted up some Full Metal Fantasy minis. Bjorn's 5 now. Oh, how cute. Let's see. Well, yeah, New Year. I don't know. Requiem for sure is on the list because I have got the rules at least in PDF version. Who knows when we'll get our books, right? And then I've backed the Unleashed stuff, the Borderlands. So I've got, in fact, I think I have some digital downloads I need to get to. So hopefully I can get through all that because I read all of the preamble lore for Requiem. And that was actually one of the interesting things about the Henge Hold scrolls now. The one they just put out like a couple of hours ago is starting to touch on a little bit of the big gap in history because Requiem starts 5 years after the events at Henge Hold, after the Infernals invaded. So there's a lot that's happened, and you just come in with Ios being this forest that nobody, or this land that nobody can really go into or get back out of if they venture into there. They've only ever seen like Solus there. They don't know about any specific, just normal Iosians. No one's seen anybody. All of the Seekers who've gone back have not come back out. There's no information coming out of there. And then the Scorn seemed to be just missing. And there was possibly like a mass, I don't know, genocide of them or something. Like it's all very vague. So the Henge Hold scrolls finally started touching on a little bit of that because we're still back in the Infernals era time. So we're going to see what happens. Let's see. Patrick, yeah, I love drawing that stuff for Jeremy. I'm working on some more stuff for other games I'm writing. I'd ideally like to put out a monthly webcomic that follows mutants. Yeah, you should totally do that, dude. I mean, in your free time. I know that's kind of hard, right? Kellis, waiting on physical before reading. Oh, nice. I didn't get a shipped confirmation yet. Yeah. Who's the voice off camera? Who are you?
I'm Lorebinder in the chat.
He's Lorebinder in the chat. He's
Tommy.
Tommy. He's my studio, like, co-owner. Wargamer girl, co-owner. Everything. He's just the other overworked person in the room.
Yeah.
Let's see, Robotic Dragon. I saw your description for the video talking about resolutions. I set goals, 36 books to read this year, need to read 2 more in 2 days, and run 6 half marathons and 100 kilometers for the year, 18 kilometers left. Wow, you've gotten really super close, even if you don't end up hitting it, dude. I mean, wow. I've definitely upped the whole fitness game this year. That was important, and I feel pretty good about where I am there. As far as the miniatures and stuff goes, all of my hobbies are sort of tiered in priority to like immediate obligations, so it's a little harder to get to them. Anytime I can even sit down and play a video game, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this, I'm playing hooky or whatever, which I was complaining to Paul about earlier. Let's see, Warbudgies, pardon my self-plug, but we do talk Iosians in the Matt Gatz interview. All right, well, make sure to visit Warbudgies' channel so that you can listen to some lore talk, which I need to catch up on. Kellis already saw it. Thomas Matt Gatz 10 is awesome adventure for us at Warfare Weekend. He's the Tommy TM. Thank you, Warbudgies. What, WGG and Co. Let's see. If you're not talking about the Scorn, it's not worth listening to Budgies. I don't know what your temps are right now in Ontario, but out here right now, we have been pressed into -35 and -40 for the past 2 weeks. This stuff has caused me to pause on my Trollblades and Gatorman. That sounds horrifying. But I'm not in Ontario. I'm in New Mexico, which is the opposite direction of Ontario. Very far away. But, I mean, I don't know. It's been super cold when it gets down to like 40 degrees because we just hate the cold. It's part of why we live here. So, yeah, winter.
About 4 hours from the Mexican border.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, we're closer to Juarez and Mexico City by far than Ontario. Yes. So before I get too far off topic, as usual, because we're already like half an hour in, I want Flo. Sorry, I passed out. I know. It's okay. I know you. So one thing I wanted to announce for the new year. It's not a resolution. It's just a schedule change with the whole studio setup for starting in the next live stream in January, which is what, January 12th? Yeah, January 12th. We will be starting our live stream at 6:30 Mountain Daylight Time instead of 7:30. So it's going to be an hour earlier, which I think makes it a little bit easier for Paul and hopefully some of the other fine folks who get to come in and pop in for a bit before having to head out. So hopefully it makes it a little easier for you. Kind of works a little better on our schedule coming into the new year. So we'll see. Oh, well, I guess I'm way wrong on that then. Thought you were in Ontario. No, I think I would die if I lived in Canada. Just be a dead person living in Canada. Right, so that was the first thing. And the other thing is, after the last live stream, I put out a new poll, and people were awesome, and I got 177 responses to the poll. So thank you guys so much for everyone who contributed to that. The poll said, instead of referring to your unpainted minis as the pile of shame, what would you like to call it instead? Now, there were some very colorful answers, of which I always appreciate. Let's see, so, I love you guys. Okay, there were 5 possible answers. One was Big Gray Mountain, Pile of Opportunity, Problems for Future Me, Pile of Shame is Fine, just who cares, it's called Pile of Shame, or I Have No Shame, Pile on the Minis, mwahaha. Well, you can guess which one won. I was really surprised that Problems for Future Me was actually the lowest scoring in there at 12%, followed by Big Gray Mountain at 14%, then Pile of Opportunity at 19%, and then the highest rated, highest voted ones, I guess, were Pile of Shame is Fine and I Have No Shame. So good on you guys. I don't think there's any reason to have any shame. Some amazing suggestions also included the Tower of Power for if you keep it all in a stack. Gray Horde or Gray Swarm, so thank you for that one, Paul. Revok, I just called them blanks, so I appreciate, it's an interesting way of thinking of it, I guess, like they're not just miniatures yet until you're done. Andrew had called it the estate. I tried to put in that answer, but because I wanted to explain the answer of like how will be my children's problem or whatever in the future, it just wouldn't let me fit that many rules in there. We also had Pile of Potential, suggested by Daniel, Drawer of Doom, Cupboard of Calamity, Garage of God Help Me, I've wasted so much money. So thank you for that one. Big Gray Style, reference to Halo. And Eberwald said, this is a problemtunity. I think I said that right. And mint conditioned boxed opportunities. So that was the results of the last poll. I have to think of another one to come out with either today or tomorrow for you guys again, because these are fun. Let me just catch up in the chat real quick. 33 degrees Celsius in England. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm pretty sure I would die in England too, Paul. See, 4 budgies. Problems for Future Me is amazing. Todd, I was all for Future Me's problems. Robotic, I consider everything a work in progress. Yeah, back to work. Bye, Thomas. Thanks for popping in. call. I'm still calling mine the Grey Horde. Nice. Oh man. So, in other news, I know a lot of you are Warhammer people, or Games Workshop players of one of those games, one of the many. I heard a rumor on the rumor mill that 40K might be changing their chapter approved to twice a year. So, I guess I was just reading it off Spiky Bit's website, but I guess like because since 2019 they kind of did do it on a 6-month interval just because of all of the lockdown stuff, right? And so they were able to, they put them out electronically or whatever more often. I don't know if they were already intending to shift to a 6-month plan or not. It seems like that might be the way they're going. Now, chapter approved, when I buy them, it's like a good $40, I think, for just a whole new book that just has points evaluations. And I don't even, is there errata in there at all, or is it just new points? I think it's really just new points, because the errata comes out and they just usually publish that, just out on the internet. So I don't know how I feel about it going to every 6 months, mostly because, you know, I'm really slow about playing games, and so I hate having to like turn around and be like, do I have to remake this list again? Which is exactly what's going to happen on a 6-month interval. Plus, I'm not gonna like it if I have to pay $40 every single time for that. Pile stacking, there you go. Revok. I bet you could sit next to a volcano and still feel chilly. Well, I mean, if it's not active. Anyway. Yes.
We have extinct volcanoes here.
We do. We have extinct volcanoes on the west side. Although I remember back when I worked at the bookstore years and years ago, there was this guy who would come in every few weeks, and he really liked to talk to me because there's always this like behavior of older men going into bookstores and just like wanting to have deep philosophical conversations about only what they want to talk about to bookstore employees. And this guy was convinced that the volcanoes on the west side were not in any way extinct. They were just dormant right now, and they were going to blow any day. So, I mean, that was like 10 years ago, but any day. Just saying. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, the seasons. They're going to 6-month development cycles. Yeah. On a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about the Eldari coming out? Like 1? I don't care. Let's see. Have you read anything about the Orgoth faction? So yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. I want to talk about Henge Hold scrolls and War Machine announcing the development of the Orgoth. So I haven't finished reading it. I mean, I know a little bit about the Orgoth just from all of the IKRPG stuff that I'd read, all of their older lore, and really just finding little shreds of information here and there, because it is hard to find information about the Orgoth right now. Hey, Mandragora. Return to Battlefield Gothic, I wish. Let's see. So with respect to the Orgoth faction, like, I am, I guess, just sort of in a wait-and-see pattern for it. I did not really care for the Infernals when they came out. I didn't like their aesthetic, which is just a personal choice. And they were just so big to be making a playable faction, like these demigods now fitting into these game rules or whatever. Had the Infernals instead been the Orgoth coming in, that would have been very interesting. Like, I think that would have been a really cool, exciting thing to see. With them coming in now, it sort of just feels like they're a little late to the game, but never know. They could be fun. I'm assuming they're going to be a limited release faction, just like Crucible Guard and Cephalix and Grimkin and all of that. It's just getting to the point where there's just a whole lot of factions to keep up with, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jeremy, just play 4th edition and don't worry about anything that's currently happening. with what they're doing. Yeah, I remember at Valhalla, there are some guys who just still insist on playing 4th edition of 40K. Patrick, don't you get the rules for free if you have a Warhammer Plus subscription? That I don't know. I don't have a Warhammer Plus subscription. Couldn't justify that one. Let's see. Adeptus Ridiculous. I like the Eldari because of the Chaos Horde's new models. Let's see, there will be new missions, new secondary objectives, and updated points costs for the armies in Warhammer 40K every 6 months. The volcanoes where? So they're on the west side. If you've ever been out to like the petroglyphs, they're actually further out than that. You see like this diminished mountain ridge. There's actually like 3 really, really old extinct volcanoes over there. Mandragora, Assassinorum game model. I almost wish I got it. But I was fine just finding images of the game boards and printing them. It's hard to find good cheap scenery in 40K. Yeah, it is. Well, Mount St. Helens is damn close. Hey, Kenneth. Hi. Gotta keep the game fluid. Lorebinder, Albuquerque is a valley with the Sandia Mountains on the east and extinct volcanoes on the west. And the Rio Grande down the middle. Our Rio Grande, the river you can stand in and the water comes up to your knees. Let's see. Doing okay. My wrist is almost healed. Oh, good. I intend to paint the rest of my sci-fi Ratman and the fantasy sisterhood I've shared before. Oh, that'll be good. Petroglyphs and extinct volcanoes. Hashtag just Albuquerque things. Yeah, well, you know, we are a unique city in a lot of ways. Let's see. Well, technically, the San Andreas Fault is a huge volcano. It's waiting to happen. Yeah, never know. There's so many immediate problems in my life that, like, whatever the Earth is going to do, just sort of, it'll happen when it happens, and I'll just have to deal with it then. I don't know what level of preparation I can really do for that. Wait, hold on. Limited release faction. What? Grimkin won't be around forever? Well, limited release faction in that they're not going to have 400 models or whatever. Like, the core factions are Kato or Signar, Protectorate, even Retribution of Syra, I don't know that was full, Craig says the 4th one, but even Retribution of Syra I don't think was meant to be a full faction and sort of grew into that over time. So it just means factions that don't have releases constantly coming out. It's not to say that those armies or models, yeah, Cephalics are one. They may come out with a new model every so often, but there's no regular release schedule for it. So like so many of the other factions get. So that makes it a little easier for them. Jeremy, the Cascades volcanoes are all dormant and they can go at any time. Yeah, I guess that's true. Don't forget Yellowstone. No, the Grimkin are just fine. So, yes. So, I don't know what to think exactly of the Orgoth other than, I guess we'll wait and see. The Orgoth always used blood and pain magic, which seemed to be fairly represented by the Scorn faction. And from the looks of it, their attempt at making warjacks are really just enslaving other large creatures. So I was getting a whole lot of Scorn vibes from that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. I look forward to at least seeing it a little bit more fleshed out. It was really hard, because for my RPG show that you will see someday, there was a lot of research that I had to do into the Orgoth, and I had to speculate somewhat, so I'm curious as to how close I get it. Mandragora, I didn't end up expanding my Chaos Knights army, just my action figure collection. I get more playtime without the need to build and paint. Please don't cast me from the community. No, you should enjoy the hobby however you want. It took me forever before I even liked painting miniatures, let alone, like, I'm not going to judge anybody else for how they enjoy it. It's weird. I've got so many other things to judge. Adeptus. I hate to room and gloom you, Miranda. Go east, girl. Life is better there. I would not go east if I was, like, threatened. There's no reason to go east. I'm from New York. The place is crazy. I want nothing to do with it. Let's see. They also said they're bringing 80 millimeter bases to Wargaming hordes. Well, it's honestly probably about time. Maybe they'll retcon something and say the Scorn are an Orgoth tribe or something like that. I doubt it, because the Scorn have a history already. They're born of the elves. They came after like the veil broke, Veld, I think, when the Iosians built the bridge to see their gods. Like, that already has sort of a set history to it. Whereas the Orgoths, they were human, as far as I can tell. They were humanoid. They were just other humans who enslaved all of Western Immorin, like just about all of it. They left the Rulix alone, and they never touched Ios either. So I'm pretty sure the Orgoth were never meant to be that. Greetings from Switzerland. Hi, Gabriel. I'm hoping for a Scorn Infernal vibe from the Orgothians. Well, I expect that they will almost come off a lot like Satixis Raiders and the Mortithurgy parts of Scorn. Yeah. And I suspect they'll have big exotic beasts from across, the seas. So, they're going to come in with all the big stuff. Now, as far as the 80 millimeter models, 80 millimeter bases, that just makes a lot of sense because, frankly, a lot of the models were just spilling off of their bases as it was. So, going larger will make some sense. I wonder if the returning Yorgoth will get along with the new entombed Orgoth in the Iron Kingdoms. Good question. They didn't leave Rule alone so much as they couldn't break into the mountainside home. Well, yeah, the effect was the same. Yeah, they never touched Ios for unknown reasons, and then they just failed at getting to the Rulix. So, yeah. Kenneth, working on a feral orc clan for 40k using dinosaurs. Nice.
A feral what?
A feral orc clan.
No.
An orc clan.
Snake bites.
Snake bites, okay. Yes. So, I'm glad you mentioned War Machine lore Adeptus. So, the Henge Hold scrolls are coming out again. It's in a format that me, as this grouchy old lady, just hates, which is all on Twitter. And you have to read responses on Twitter. And when you go to the Henge Hold Twitter page on your 5G phone, it just won't load things for some reason because software is garbage everywhere. But I did do this. I did manage to get through and read all of the stuff for you guys. Somewhat for me. But I do hate this format. Like, I didn't read any of the original Henge Hold stuff until they consolidated it on the website, and then I just read all through it. Twitter does not... Anyway, so... Howdy y'all, I heard you were talking about the Henge Hold scrolls. Hey, Maxicorn, I am. I was just about to jump into it. Let's see, I think the heavy Warjack War Beast should be redone to go on 60 millimeter bases. Yes. Are we clear to talk spoilers for Henge Hold scrolls? So it's just open information on Twitter, so I'm gonna say yes. I don't see any reason not to. Let's see, I'm having an impact on your outlook of life. I wouldn't have bothered to go to Twitter to look at it though. Fair enough. No, Twitter is terrible, but I'm guessing that that Ouroboros will do well with Ghidorah. Let's see. So, the Henge Hold scrolls takes you back to the Battle of Henge Hold. And, oh look, tweets cannot be loaded because, as far as I can tell, the software just doesn't really try. Anyway, some of the early stuff, been tempted to do a reading for the channel. You should. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, if you go through all of the Henge Hold scrolls, that would be a lot of material. But, maybe we could work together and do that or something. I don't know. That sounds fun. Yeah, so the new stuff that's all come out, where we last left off, gosh, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Vlad dies. There's some child that no one will know about that has gone through the portal to be a leader in Warcaster, right? Sorsha's sad. Karshev fights everybody. Asphyxius dies, then gets rebuilt by Cirrus and is Cirrus for a while. I don't know. It got really crazy. So your take, Karchev dead or not dead? He's not dead. There's no way. Like, I thought Denegra would be too, and, well, no, I didn't. Like, anyway. So, when we pick it up again, they started putting these tweets out December 20th. So there's only like less than 10 days worth of information that's out, but I guess they're doing one a day or, I don't know, whatever their frequency is. So, Denegra and Asphyxius are still fighting, I don't know, Omadamos, one of the infernal dudes, and he's got this big guardian that is slamming around, destroying everything. Asphyxius isn't really able to defeat him. He kind of crunches Denegra, and Asphyxius is like, peace out, never mind, this is a losing battle. I'm going to flee through the gates, the Henge Hold gate, and go on to Warcaster, or the new universe, the Cirrus verse, yeah, celestial body, constellation, whatever, there. So Denegra's just like totally abandoned by Asphyxius, but that does leave sort of an open spot for an Iron Lich, potentially. Like, I don't know if he left anything behind. Can't imagine Turok's super happy about Asphyxius leaving. I'm kind of surprised he had the will to do that, but whatever. So I could see Denegra coming back as an Iron Lich. That's speculation. Not just my speculation, but she was sort of left to die because Asphyxius is such a good guy like that. Then, yeah, Karchev, so this big guardian is like brothel stomping everybody around the gate. Karchev takes him on because Karchev does not give a care. He just goes after whatever. It's kind of what makes him amazing. So the guardian crunches Karchev. The guardian very unceremoniously crunches Deathjack, who also comes onto the scene because it's like a Christmas special up in here, and it's the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. Yes, that's what's happening right now at the gates of Henge Hold. So, but you know, they're crunched by the same guardian, so obviously, because the skulls and the magic around Deathjack are that it has many vessels and takes on many chassis. And then we've got Karchev, who refuses to die, which I'm fine with because I love an Iron Will like that. That is awesome. So yeah, they've most certainly designed the Karchev Deathjack combination to come from that moment, undoubtedly. I've read them many times, mostly practicing for a potential video series. You should. So I just 100% support it. I don't know what your time schedule is like, but you should go for it. One of these days, people will care about this lore again, especially after Requiem goes so well. Oh man, I've not heard anything for or against the game. The chaos models are the same as regular game. I saw no need for them. Oh, you're talking about Blackstone. Yeah. The assassin game is just really the best way to get all the assassin models. Let's see. So for the Guardian Crush tally, it's Karchev, Deathjack, yeah, and Denegra, who I thought was just like crushed because Asphyxius is like, oh, well, that's too bad. I'm gonna flee now, or I shall flee, as Asphyxius likes to talk. But then Denegra's just like, you know, stewing away while being fixed by a necrosurgeon, so she's fine. She'll be fine. Alex, calling it now. Haley does some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff and brings back all the dead casters to fight back the Infernals, and just in time for the Orgoth to come back. Well, she kind of did that earlier on, because she was using all of her power to bring everybody to the fold. I think she did bring some people back to fight against the Infernals because she started fading away from existence. I don't know where Haley is at this exact moment, whether or not she falls through time again and there's a fourth version or whatever, right? Like she's incredibly powerful and probably just needs to ascend already in the world. So that's where we last left off. Let's see.
Our next into one big hazy.
It's just like an assemblable model that like sub-assembly of models and then put it together to be a Voltron. I mean, they would just make it a Riot Quest model. Let's see. Asphyxius, to Denegro. Oh no, not me. Alley-oop. Peace out through the portal. You should do a translated version of the Henge Hold scrolls. Oh goodness. Let's see. Henge Hold. I can't believe they broke up Saren and Rias, or that she just dropped the Atheng shard there. That should be a massive plot point. Yeah, I mean, that was sort of a weird moment, right? Because I think it was Saren who's all like, I'm going to go through there, it calls to me. And then, yeah, her Atheng was left. I thought it killed her, but I guess it was just the Atheng left behind. So, I mean, Rias can't be super thrilled about that. It's her sister, and yeah, like, is something else going to grow out of that Atheng? Like, what could be happening there? Could be interesting. Let's see, the reason why Ouroboros and Khador join is because the Witch of Khador are joining with the Grimkins. Yeah, well, the old Witch of Khador watched Menoth create humanity, like super, just she's been around, and she just likes the Khadoran people because she has good taste. And then she brought in the Grimkin sort of as a stopgap to try and stop the Infernals through this bit of a convoluted plan that if all of the evil people who would bring the Infernals back got killed by Grimkin, then they can't bring the Infernals back. But then it didn't work, but it was enough to cause there to be a good fight for it. And now we have Requiem, so whatever, I'll take it. So she just wants humanity to persist, I'm pretty sure. She has no love for the Infernals. They're not doing her any favors, so she should be bringing everybody together for it. And yeah, I mean, Ouroboros has no reason not to fight for that. It's even the type of thing, and that's one of the problems, in my view, with the whole Infernals thing, is because they're creatures from outside of space and time, like from the void. They really are the type of thing, like the Devourer Worm, or Menoth, or Dunia, should all be just not putting up with, like, they would come forward on. Or you'd see, like, Syra, reform to try and, like, fight them off with her dying breath or something. Like, it's sort of like, that really should be a battle of the Titans, not just all of the cannon fodder of the world fighting these things off. Now, I know that we had the Archons come down, so that was helpful, but it really was kind of a little bit of a charity give. Like, that's what you got. So, yay! Family and health issues keeping me off Fizz. Lost my uncle, and my aunt has pneumonia. Oh, Max, that's... good luck to that, man. It's no fun, and definitely sympathize. I hope your aunt gets better soon. That's definitely been going around, so spend time with family. Always spend time with family while you can. For those of you who are familiar with my stuff over on Media Glitch, my good friend Joel ended up getting, he just got COVID, and it ended up putting him in the hospital, and he is mercifully, thank goodness, out and doing better now, but it was, like, intense there for a while, and you just never know. Mandragora, it was also weird to read Magnus being proud of Stryker, even if he is dead now. It was also sad to see Damiana is dead. Steelheads are so rare. Damiana was just a blip. Like, what a throwaway of, like, I don't know, we'll call that guy off. I felt like that was kind of not great. Like, I know Damiana's not, like, a huge superstar in the series, but he had fans, and he just went out super fast. There are quite a few people like that. And when you read like, the Acts of War series, yeah, Magnus is proud of Stryker. Like, there is that fatherly bond that they did have. Magnus genuinely cared about him. Like, I ended up really liking Magnus's story overall coming out of that. So, that was fine. Bad foodie. Yo-Yo, is War Machine dead? I'm broke as now, but looking to get a Signar set. So War Machine's not dead, but if you're looking at the secondary markets, you can probably get a very inexpensive Signar set. I would just say check eBay or check your local game store, or like the game store here, Etten. They recently did like a flea market, so gamers can use their shop, the Etten game store, and they also set up a tent outside to sell their own personal wares, and everything they sell it for is actually store credit to their store. So the people who sell their stuff basically get a store of game credit for it that they can buy new stuff from the game store with. So that ends up working out pretty well. And I did see some people selling War Machine stuff. Mostly it was board games, but if you go to places like that, you'll see a lot of people kind of unloading their armies because they're not interested in it anymore or for whatever reason. So, but I still think it'll come back. Damiano went out like a champ, though. See, not at all. Moving into a new lore era with Requiem RPG and upcoming Orgoth. Yeah. What's up? Just tuned in. Is that your paintwork? No, this was a gift given to me by my friend Paul. He did a really amazing job. I couldn't find, now that I'm in the studio, like my collection is split between 2 locations now. So I couldn't pull out like, you know, what I feel are my greatest works or anything for 2021. That would have been cool, but I didn't get the time to put that together. So I'm just showing off someone else's artwork. Privateer Press should do an animated TV series. They got Naruto levels of content. You know,
They should do a lot of things.
that's an interesting concept. I don't know how hard it would be to do like a basic cartoon. Basically, the Infernals are fanboys of X-Death from Final Fantasy V. They love Devoid. Ugh, they're so boring. They just talk like blears to each other, and everything is a contract, and it's written into their soul or whatever. It's just, I don't know. It is so uninteresting. There's no personality to them. They all act the same, and they're all like edgelord evil. It's damn boring. Let's see. I wrote a book heavily inspired by War Machine to some degree, looking for a publisher. I hope people like it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, hopefully not too much like War Machine, I guess just inspired. I would drop money for a Privateer Kickstarter for an animated tune. Animated tune or even a new video game. Let's see. The musical cake. Gonna keep up the salt about Axis getting jobbed because named characters can die unceremoniously too. But he got jobbed by the name who died unceremoniously. Yes. That's very roundabout, but yes. My store has been doing a garage sale with the same ideas. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Let's see, Orgoth are coming back. Bruh. They are coming back. They're going to be a playable faction in War Machine. So, from the sound of it, I mean, if they have to enslave other beasts, then I don't know if they're going to really count as a War Machine faction or a Hordes faction. But, yeah. Let's see. I think it's all to do with the direction of the publisher's rights over IP rights, which shouldn't happen because look what happened to Star Wars in the same vein. Oh, yeah. The Privateer Press should adapt the Malcontents books. Those are amazing. Yeah, like the Iron Kingdoms has plenty of lore, plenty of like rich, exciting, awesome, cool stories that they could be exploring. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's like me, or it's just too much to do and not enough resources to do it. Like, I feel that in my bones. Let's see, that green on the base is GW's Tesseract glow, but mine is that old. It has separated. Works better as a wash though. Pat, do you think they're going to do cycle some casters out like Malifaux did? I don't know. So one of the early things that War Machines stated was that they were never going to have an obsolete model. But with this many models, I could see that being really, really hard to keep up with. And if that was necessary in order to maintain the game, then so be it. But I think that you could piss off a lot of people if you do that too often. So it's going to be a fine balance if they do something like that. But I mean, do we really need 4 versions of Asphyxious, or like how many versions of Haley we're up to, which I think is, well, at least 3. Yeah. There's just so many versions of the casters. Like, I liked their active duty roster idea. That was kind of cool, where it sort of tried to limit things in scope. But like, theme forces are always going to push what gets played in the meta. And so you're always going to see casters that fall by the wayside or become super powered. And it also matters who you're peeling your game to. So that's a great question. I have just no idea on. Like, I don't know what call I would make in that position. Let's see. Not too much like War Machine. There's a Trollkin-like race that I hope isn't too obvious, except they look like gorillas. Oh, okay. Maxicorn, I actually published my first novel with lots of influence from Warmahordes, mostly the factions based on stories and magic/science fusion. Yeah, like, I like the way magic is done in the Iron Kingdoms. It's not so out there, like it's connected to something. The Sword of Truth series did that a lot. If you ever read Terry Goodkind, like, the way he handled magic was something that I really enjoyed, because it was more of an integrated part instead of this, you know, tone over the whole world of now it's magic, which is kind of what Harry Potter is, even though Harry Potter is a perfectly fine aesthetic. It's like, the magic is a little nonsensical. Let's see, Magigor, I don't think Privateer could do a toon game well. I feared they would after I fear they would alter what makes factions good. Like 40k, they ruined Necrons to make them less like Terminators and more like Toon Kings. Honestly, the whole Warcaster concept is interesting. That too, I had to adapt and make my own. Okay. War Budgies. Might use the infernal mechanics rather than War Machine or Hordes. Oh gosh, I hope not. Now, I mean, it was rumored that the Orgoth got their magic and everything they had from the Infernals too. So it's possible that when we see the Orgoth, they may have also had a culling that happened to them, that they survived after failing to continue to hold Western Imran, presuming that was the deal. So, who knows? Never is a strong word. Exactly. I thought Faye said they were definitely using War Machine mechanics. Oh, okay, I hadn't seen that. Let's see. Rest in peace, Goodkind. Oh, I know. Wrote a lot, though. Let's see. So, Maxicorn's book is it's called New World, and it's on Amazon for paperback. Fun note, I worked on the phrase, bitches love cannons, and I won't say what chapter it is. Wow, Max. I'll have to look that up. Let me add a note so I don't miss that. Yeah, so what is it? Denegra, thought to be dead, not dead. Asphyxious has fled the world. Karchev, Deathjack, and Denegra all got smushed by the Guardian, and Karchev and Deathjack are dead. Probably not. And then there was, like, in another part of the world, they started talking about, they went to Ios, and they were talking with the Iosians, and Hexerus with Gershield, I think, were coming back together, because they'd just set up a truce. So I am very curious to see where that ends. I don't know how much information we'll get. We'll see. But that was actually the one that piqued my interest the most. So, New World book. All right, I'll look that up later. Let's see. Yep, that's the way, bro. Just smash paints. That works. War Budgies. And Fiora lives. Definitely, absolutely lives. Maybe I could see them doing something weird, like in death she makes a deal with the Infernals and becomes a marked one. Well, she kind of already was in there, right? Or she becomes Crixian somehow or whatever. Like, she's not faithful to Manoth, so she's very corruptible. I don't know if that's part of what you like about her, War Veggies, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think she's faithful to Minoth. I just don't think she's faithful to the Protectorate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, maybe.
And I think that whole weird pact with the Infernals or whatever is silly nonsense.
It is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how faithful you are to Menoth when you're like willing to slaughter all the paladins because they're leaving your town and you don't want them to. She kind of ordered that.
She disagrees with their entire philosophy, though.
She does, and she hates Tristan Durant.
Yeah, so she, like I said, she's loyal to Minoth, just not to the Protectorate.
Maybe. I don't know. That's
what I get out of it.
Okay. Maybe so. Emperor signs. He's Inferno's tearing Imran apart. This is fine. I mean, she flew out there to like go. Well, she flew to the gate. I don't think she's fled though. I think she stays. Let's see. Anywho, and I've tried to refrain from asking this question for some time, but any new bat reps, skits when? Well, I was talking about some stuff we could record just today. I don't know whether or not I'll be able to bust it out before the new year. I have the most brutal schedule I think I've ever had. And it doesn't even make sense. But short answer, yes. It's just behind a bunch of other really heavy tasks that need to get done. So, but I do, now, I mean, part of the studio space is for the purpose of getting that done. And then we had that really stupid BS stall with our saw. So hopefully with that being done, maybe we can actually get some stuff done. We'll see. Austin, I have a real hard time with the Henge Hold scrolls. They're just so depressing. Well, it is a whole lot of like, and then this thing happened, and this thing happened, and you know, I was joking earlier about it being kind of an ultimate showdown, because Death Jack coming is really out of the blue. Like, hey guys, I'm here too. Splat. Cool. Welcome to the party. This whole year has been depressing enough. Fair point. No, I mean, the Henge Hold scrolls I had zero interest in until like Requiem was officially a thing, and then I'm like, okay, I care about the lore again. Because I had a little tantrum about the whole Warcaster thing. Let's see, Paul. Confuse the games. Yes, War Machine Quest Blackstone has some good chaos models. That's so confusing. Point for Tommy. Shut up, War Budgies. Who asked you? That's what I do. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so Adeptus Mechanicus is putting up stuff on the Facebook as well. Okay, I'm out. Bye, Mandragora. Thanks for popping by. Yeah, sorry. I don't hope this isn't too boring of just me chatting. Like, it's not the most exciting night, but it's kind of just been like a year of reflection. But I guess I'm talking about new stuff too. So, not so much reflection. Question to the floor. The best movie of 2021 was... I know this one. And I know there's a lot of love for the Marvel movies, but none of them made that list. Cough, unbeliever. Oh my goodness. What did we see? What did we go see? We saw the new Spider-Man, and we saw The Matrix. And we saw the Ricardos, being the Ricardos. Yeah. Which was, like, interesting. It was a fine little, simple movie. Bond movie, maybe? The new Bond movie is really quite good. I'm scared to post anything to Facebook unless I lose my stream. Clifford the Big Red Dog, of course. Really? There's 2 answers for this? Are you guys just being cheeky?
Oh, you saw High Fidelity for the first time?
I saw High Fidelity for the first time, yeah, but it's only okay. Yeah. Is that really where we ended off with the Henge Hold scrolls? So mostly I just want to see what happens with the Iosians and Scorn. Like, I want to fill in that gap. I'd like to see where Ein Vannar ends up, because last I remember, I don't think she went through that gate. Because it was her and her son, I want to say? It was a whole thing. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. It's okay. No, like, it wasn't. Alright, I'm gonna pull it up. Just movies released in theaters in 2021. I did not keep up with any of the stream stuff. No, not 2020.
Games, I guess.
We did watch Squid Games, and it was very overrated. So I have nothing super nice to say. Alright, IMDb has supposedly all the releases. Venom was very so-so. I did not see Addams Family. No Time to Die was actually quite good. I even though I was super salty about it being almost 3 hours. Didn't see New Halloween, didn't see Last Duel. Dune was actually pretty damn good. Enough so that I'm interested in reading the book. And I was super impressed with Timothée Chalamet. Like, he did just a great job. French Dispatch I haven't seen, which I normally would see a Wes Anderson movie by now. Ron's Gone Wrong I haven't seen. Last Night in Soho I haven't seen, and I intended to. Antlers we saw.
Yeah.
It was almost really cool. It had a lot of really cool stuff, and then it just really couldn't get across that finish line. Like, it couldn't. Third act failure it's the thing I've noticed mostly. Like, you get this really great buildup, and then they don't know how to end a movie. So Antlers was almost great, actually. Eternals I didn't see.
Ending was actually pretty laid out, and then they just didn't go for it. They didn't go there.
Yeah,
'Cause we
maybe.
saw the ending, and it was like, oh man, this is gonna happen, and then it didn't.
Yeah, almost great. Eternals I didn't see. Finch I didn't see. Tom Hanks, the heck? Post-apocalyptic Earth? A robot built to protect the life of his creator?
I wanted to see that.
His creator's beloved dog. What? I
That looks cool.
didn't see that. Clifford the Big Red Dog. Ghostbusters Afterlife was fine. It wasn't amazing to me.
What was it? Goodwill?
It was a good faith attempt at a movie, so I definitely respected that. King Richard I haven't seen. Encanto I have not seen. West Side Story I have not seen. Spider-Man No Way Home was pretty good. All of the nostalgia stuff totally worked on me, and I felt like that was a good faith effort too, and a good-natured film, so I'd probably give it more of a pass than I normally would. Matrix was very neutral for me. Like, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. A lot of people hate it, and they brought up very valid points about it that I'm like, yeah, true. Sing 2, did not see. Kingsman, have not seen. Scream is not out yet. That's next year. Hotel Transylvania, no. Man from Toronto, The 355, that's not out yet. All this crap is not out yet. Okay, so those were some movies that... Death on the Nile I'm kind of curious to see, but yeah.
Which one?
Death on the Nile?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one of those remakes like The Orient Express.
They don't have Nobody on there, and that came out.
Yeah, and we wanted to see that one. We never saw Nobody. Sounds like an alibi.
If you're from back east.
If you're from back east, yeah. The Last Duel is very good. I kind of want to see it just for the costumes, but I don't know. I'm a little uninterested in anything Matt Damon does right now. See, I'm sure the best movie of 2021 didn't get out too much. Yeah, I can imagine. You didn't see Wes Anderson's? Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Okay, my favorite movie was T-34, but technically it came out in 2019, but I only saw it this year, so it's my favorite movie of the year. Valid. Dune was another one. Soho is good too. I meant to see Soho. Like, guys,
It was in and out of the theaters.
it was in and out fairly quickly, and then we just never got a chance to get back on to it.
That wasn't in there.
Lamb. We did see Lamb.
Great.
Depends on how you define great. It was interesting and kind of horrifying. Let's see. Fave movies this year. I haven't seen many. There was Zack Snyder's Justice League and The Reminiscence I didn't see with Hugh Jackman. There's a lot of movies I didn't see. Top Gun 2. I am so looking forward to Top Gun 2. I'm all in for that one. Let's see. Death on the Nile is a sequel to The Orient Express. Oh, there you go. So.
Is it a sequel or is it just sort of in that, I never can pronounce his name, the Hercule Poirot series?
Yeah.
Is it sequential?
I get it might be sequential. I haven't read the books, so I don't want to say the wrong thing, but maybe. Jeremy might know. So, yeah, we did see Lamb. That was a wild movie. I don't know why all of these are being listed in 2021 when there's a whole bunch of 2022 releases. Why can't websites just be the thing they say they are? That'd be cool. Instead, it's like, oh no, we will lie to you completely. How about by release date? Sort, please.
Usually you just Google search it and then it's like...
No, that's what I tried, and it was...
No, like don't go to a web page. Usually they just kind of have them. You can scroll through them in the results page.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why this would be called all... whatever. Let's see if there's anything I missed quickly. King Richard, yeah, that's my... Quite good, quite good. Yeah, I guess I'll have to check out Finch. There's a few movies. There's quite a lot of movies actually that are still on my list of stuff to get around to. Yeah, that was not a complete list. IMDb somehow managed to fail at its most basic function. They're both pro.
You should tell your audience to look up just the word Wargamer on IMDb.
Oh, if you look up Wargamer on IMDb, do I come up?
Yeah, tell them if you just look up that word.
All right. If you guys go to imdb.com, I'm going to do it, and just look up Wargamer, just to see who comes up, right? Can I spell Wargamer? I don't know, maybe. Hey, that's exciting. It's me. Anyway, let's see.
The quintessential Wargamer.
The quintessential.
On IMDb.
That's what marketing does, fellas. Let's see. Jeremy, I've fallen asleep 3 times trying to finish The Matrix, and today slept through the start time of my Spider-Man No Way Home showing. Last time I get tickets in advance. Oh, Jeremy. Sounds like you're just overworked, man. The books aren't sequential, but the ending scene of The Orient Express sets up the Nile. Gotcha. Patrick, I went back to painting one model at a time. I've gotten more of these zombies done this evening than I have in the past 3 paint nights, trying to batch paint them. Nice. Paul, I've seen the 1978 Death on the Nile quite a few times. Well, that's exciting. I think it's one of those stories my mom would have enjoyed, so probably make a point to go see that. So yeah, are we just about there? Get me talking about movies. I'm like, I'll talk to you about movies. But it's hard to remember what I've seen from week to week. It's like, we'll see it, we'll talk about it, usually for hours. And then like a few days later, they're like, what did you see last week? I'm like, I don't really remember. So, a little frustrating. And the internet is no friend of mine right now for that. So, that's frustrating. But I don't know what I would call like the best movie of 2021.
Dune is probably up there.
Dune's probably the closest right now because it just feels complete, even though it's literally half the book. Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Last Duel, 007 No Time to Die, and Dune. Solid movie releases this year. Pretty good. Pretty good movies. I didn't see The Eternals. The previews looked so boring. And then when I saw it was also almost 3 hours, I was like, I can't. Spider-Man No Way Home was fun. Last Duel I haven't seen. 007 was really quite good. Dune was really good.
Spider-Man's probably the most fun.
Spider-Man's the most
movies.
fun of them, because the other ones are a lot
No
more
Way to
serious.
Die is pretty good, but it has too many kind of flaws in it to be like the best movie.
Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, No Time to Die. No Time to Die. Yeah.
Spider-Man has a lot of flaws, but it's just a lot of fun.
It is. They charisma through a lot of the flaws in the story, and
It even made me feel okay about the Andrew Garfield.
no, that was very universally felt. Like a lot of people retroactively liked the Amazing Spider-Man better after No Way Home, which is an amazing feat, really.
And the new MJ I liked a lot more after this too.
That's true.
Because they acknowledge she's not actually Mary Jane.
Well, once you start doing all the multiverse stuff, it is a little bit of an excuse to start doing a whole bunch of stuff, but whatever.
We got kind of close to Deadpool 2 territory when he time travels and interacts with like the Green Lantern.
Yes. Jeremy, I worked 54 hours last week and I'm on my way to 45 this week. We had 4 or 5 people quit in the last 2 weeks. Dude, try not to get yourself burned out too bad though. Like your health's super important. Bill's hoping for a second season of Dark Crystal, The Barbarian and the Troll, a pair of puppet shows. Yeah, we saw The Barbarian and Troll. Of what, Dark Crystal? I don't know.
I mean, I'll watch it. I haven't rewatched the other one, but
The first season?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool looking, but the story was so bland that it's just hard to go through it. But I'll give the next season a try. Dark Crystal, I love it.
I would be more excited about it if they would just stop with the CG.
Like 100% zero CG?
I would rather zero than a little bit. Like, there's a way to tastefully do it, but I don't think they know how to do that. I think they just are like, and here's the ninja Skeksis. You're like, no, how about just none? Let's just stick with none. You will be better off for it. Do that. That's all I ask. Because the CG was distracting and awful.
Yeah, everything that wasn't CG was actually, like, I don't mind VFX for, like, wire removal and things like that. That's fine. But just, I don't need, like, 3D animation added to it.
They're having trouble hearing you. But yes, I agree.
That's okay. I'm just voice off camera.
Voice off camera guy. Jeremy Johns has done his best 10 and worst 10 2021 movies. I should find a proper list. It's not like I haven't seen a bunch of movies. Well, I haven't seen as many movies this year as I normally see, but yes. Snake Eyes made the worst list because it was a good action movie but had nothing to do with the character Snake Eyes. Yeah, I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't follow the G.I. Joe series at all. And so when I watched Snake Eyes, I was like, huh, there's actually a little bit more depth to the story than I would have guessed. That's interesting. And like, what were the girls? There was Scarlet and Red Baroness. They were beyond token. It was kind of hilarious just how token they were in that. Like, I just wish they weren't in it. But the story was fine. But whether or not it's a G.I. Joe story, I couldn't tell you. See, if I had to pick Eternals as the best movie of the year, it hit all the marks. Really? God, the previews are like absolute worst for it. I may give it a go, maybe. I think the hype kills it with super excited Hollywood, and then the letdown that follows it. Oh, I don't know. Like, if I'm all interested in a movie, I won't even watch the previews for it most of the time. We'll just see it.
I'll turn off the trailer halfway once I decide I want to see it.
Yeah. So it's like, we've already decided, no, I want to see it. I want to be surprised. Like, when we went and watched Old, which was, I guess, a movie released this year as well.
Was that this year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
We didn't.
I liked it more than you.
You definitely liked it more than me. Because there's that Shyamalan dialogue where you're like, these aren't people, but it's okay. I do really appreciate that it was an original story, and I do think that Shyamalan is like an artist for
Yeah.
all intents and purposes. Like
Oh, he
when
is.
you use that word, it's like no, you are making something new and you are creating it. Lord help you, you do not hit all the marks on it. But I really appreciate watching that. But I can't say I'd run around recommending old to people.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah, but it's like you like it for different reasons. Fire Moth is done. Yay, good job, Shell. On the Kit Fox, which looks like it has a case of the mumps. Jeremy, you missed the 2 other movies Marvel put out. Probably didn't hit theaters. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen the new Hawkeye yet either. Even though like Florence Pugh's in it, and I'm curious.
TV series?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. Maybe I'll go watch it.
I've heard it's actually good. That it's better than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah. My God, that isn't G.I. Joe. Joe shouldn't even have greenlit it. Okay. One thing I'm used to, like, I grew up loving Aliens. I've watched that franchise just get beaten and stepped on and peed on and set on fire and poured, like, gasoline on and set on fire again. Salt water poured on it, stepped on again, thrown under, I don't know, just,
Yeah.
like, all I've watched is my favorite series get abused over and over again. So it's like G.I. Joe, you're like, whatever. It's just another
Same
thing.
thing with Predator.
Yeah, I imagine Predator was the same. Ugh. So I just, you just hold the originals in your heart, and you know that no matter what, unless you're George Lucas, the originals remain untouched. Let's see, one thing I never knew: the Thing prequel was done with all practical effects, but the studio didn't like it, so they just painted CGI on it, and that's why it's awful. Yeah, no, I mean, fear and greed run Hollywood, and it's embarrassing what they greenlight now because they're just idiots. I've managed to avoid all trailers and spoilers for Venom 2 before seeing it. It was ... okay. That's exactly how I described it. Okay. It's like, well, And then you watch No Way Home and you're like, okay, I guess you're done. Bye, Tom Hardy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's see, 2 of them moved. Oh, yeah. Let's see, finished Hawkeye last night. It was probably the best of the Marvel shows on Disney+. That is impressive. That was amazingly visceral. Sorry. I'm just very used to it. Like, the idea of, oh no, my series. Like, no, that's just, it's not, you don't own it. Just is what it is. I'd like Tim Burton to do a movie over of the Batman Continues. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess we have Robert Pattinson, the Batman, coming out, which is looking like a take on, what did we say, 7? It looks like the movie 7. So, Aliens, Predator, Terminator, all gone. Yeah. You just let things go, just zen it out. It's fine. So, I think we'll probably wrap it up here. I'm so excited I got to share some of the Henge Hold Scroll stuff with you guys, and I hope you had a good New Year. I hope you have a good New Year's, and I hope 2021 wasn't the worst thing ever.
Do you have the next question?
I don't. I haven't come up with a new poll question yet.
No,
No, there's no new poll question yet, but it will be coming out. I will rack my brain and see if I can put it out tonight. If not, it'll be out by Friday, before the end of the year. After tonight. If not before tonight, then after tonight. Yes. But the next show will be on the 12th, and it will be an hour earlier. Now, I do preset it on YouTube, so hopefully it will tell you that. But just so you know, don't be surprised when that happens. So yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Like, thanks so much for hanging out with me this year. 2022, there certainly are some big plans, so let's see. Suicide Squad. Yeah, that was a no.
War budgies as well.
New poll: how faithful are you to our Lord Menoth on a scale of 10 to 20? Who invited you? Go watch his interview with Matt and learn some more about War Machine, though. Let's bring that back. I do so love the world.
Or look up,
Look.
I'm blanking on his name. His book, New World.
Yeah.
Maxicorn.
Maxicorn, yeah. So if you look it up, I did, but it wasn't immediately coming up because I have to look up his name. Which I think was Greg Haynes for New World. So I'll do some digging, see if I can find it on a real computer. And, ooh, Todd, that was sharp, man. But yes, so Happy New Year. Let's try to bring some positive energy and thoughts into 2022 and just not let the world rule us. We have a say in it too. So good night, everybody. Have a great night and Happy New Year. Bye.